Hi everybody and welcome to Heel Heat. This is our TNA show for the week. My name is George Coles. This is my tag team partner, Moondog Rex.
Gary Rhodes, everybody.
And we'll get right into it. The first thing of the evening, we have James Storm coming out talking kind of good about AJ Styles. And basically says he wants to know what side he's on, which you see AJ in the crowd. Kind of like Sting in '96. Then we got Bad Influence comes out and they said they should get back together, the four of them, and reform Fortune to take out Aces and Eights. Storm doesn't really go for it. They do their little spiel with him. Aces and Eight comes out. There's your opening segment.
Awesome. First match of the night was pretty interesting. Terrence Terrell versus Tara.
It was a decent match. Taryn Terrell was a lot better than I thought she was going to be in this, and I don't know if it's a veteran of Tara's stature that's carrying her to a good match, or she's actually just getting this better.
It's probably a little bit of both. I mean, she's still young. She's been around the business for a long time, really.
About 5-6 years now.
Exactly. And Tara's just one of those. She is a monster in the ring. If she wants to be, she's one of the most dominant women wrestlers of all time.
There you go. It was a good knockouts match to begin the show off with. And speaking of knockouts, we had Tara's former boyfriend, or at least they're not referring to him as boyfriend, and they weren't together on this, which I don't remember a breakup or anything. But yeah, Jesse Goddard's with Robbie E versus Rob Terry. Basically the same thing that we've seen with Rob Terry since the split up of him and Robbie E. They seem to be focusing on him and making him a dominant character again.
Which he should be. I mean, the guy's a monster.
Yeah. And he's getting better and better. I absolutely love his finisher, that spinning.
I think the only thing he can't beat right now is a wellness test from WWE.
He can't beat a wellness test from McDonald's.
I'm telling you.
Good thing TNA doesn't check for that kind of thing. Ain't that right, Rob? Kurt? Everybody else on the roster?
Matt or Jeff. Either one, they were both there.
Yeah, they just go out to the ring in it.
Anyways.
Our next match of the night. Well, before our next match of the night, we had Bad Influence trying to recruit Bobby Roode, but not Austin Aries, into Fortune again.
I think if they did Fortune again, I think Aries would be a good add to it, though.
I kind of like the idea of... It's almost like Bad Influence is playing mind games to break up Roode and Aries.
Mm-hmm.
And they tell Roode, obviously no James Storm this time.
I tell you right now that Bad Influence is probably, right now in the wrestling, as far as the tag team, they're the best talkers there is.
Oh, and what do you think about the line, if me, you, and if us three go out there, AJ's bound to join us.
I'm just telling you, they're gold, man. I wish Christopher Daniels shined this bright 5-6 years ago.
He did. They just never gave him the ball to run with.
I think if they gave him the ball 5-6 years ago, he'd be a multiple-time champion.
Which is weird. Did you notice the little segue? Did you notice the survey they did for who do you want to see in an X Division match? It had Rashad Cannon, somebody else, I forget who else, and Suicide. And I was like, that's weird because you got Sabins coming back who played Suicide, and you got...
No, I thought it was Suicide was...
No, it was...
Kaz and Daniels.
Kaz and Daniels both played him.
Yeah.
So, if he wins, it's going to be weird to see who they're going to put under the mask. I thought Sabin played him too.
No. Sabin was still... During that time, he was still heavy with the machine guns.
I thought that was part of he was doing dual roles.
No, that's they got rid of Curry Man, then they did the Suicide, and then Daniels would get hurt, Kaz would take over. The part was meant for Kaz to have, but he got hurt right when they were ready to release it. So Daniels was really the first Suicide, but he was supposed to be not Suicide.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
It all tied into their video game, which actually wasn't even that bad of a game.
No.
But sets up going back to the show, we got the next match of the night was Chavo and Hernandez versus Roode and Aries. I liked it. I liked the interaction with Bad Influence trying to help out Roode, but not Aries, and eventually ends up costing them the match. But I thought it was a good tag team match. like we've said a couple times, this combination of these three is getting a little bit stale, but this had a little bit of freshness in it.
I think whenever they let Bad Influence shine, it just makes for a better product. And I like Rude and Aries too, and Chavo and Hernandez, they're kind of like the company's pet.
It almost feels like Rude and Aries aren't really a tag team now. They're just together for now. Kind of like when Magnus and Samoa Joe were together.
Well, they kind of killed that whole storyline with them coming back and trying to get all the titles.
Yeah.
And now that H's and H is such a big popular product right now.
You know why the storyline's dead?
Why's that?
It had nothing to do with Hogan.
There you go.
Anyway. But we'll go.
Maybe that's why Kaz and Daniels are so over, because they always make fun of him.
There you go.
There you go.
Well, that's how they keep on TV. They mention his name. You don't care if it's good or bad as long as you mention his name.
Any press is good press, brother.
Going from an old fart, let's go into our question of the week from last week. Who do you think has the brightest future in TNA? I'll go ahead and let you answer first, Gary.
Right now, there's so many up-and-comers. I'm going to have to go with... Because I've been thinking about it, because there's a lot of young talent there. Yeah. But if you really look at most of their young talent has already been up to an upper echelon. I'm going to go with Kenny King. Okay. I like what he's doing with the X Division thing. He's letting it run to his advantage.
That's a big change. If you guys have been longtime viewers, I remember you weren't so hot on Kenny King when he first came in.
He was bland. He was like a generic Shelton Benjamin, but he's coming to his own. He's really, it must be with the level of guys he's working with right now, and he's keeping up with them. I mean, you're talking about Petey Williams, Rob Van Dam, Zema Ion. I was high on Zema Ion, but they've just pretty much flushed a kid down the toilet, man.
Well, I was someone before he came in, because I had watched Ring of Honor more than you, that told him he's going to be good. I think it might have just been butterflies, and now that he's worked out and he's been on TV for a while, he's becoming more of who he is.
So who's your choice?
I'm going to go with one of the gut check winners, Jay Bradley.
Which one was that?
That was the boomstick guy with the lariat. I thought
if they were put him on TV,
I think he's not super young, but he's young to TV. I love his move. You do as well. He throws a hell of a lariat. He's got a good character already going. He's got great in-ring presence. He's someone I could see being a cocky, badass heel.
I have to agree with you.
I think
he's my favorite gut check winner.
I'd love to see him come in. I wish they would have used him by now. But anyway, now going into the question of the week for this week, one of the main storylines in TNA is the transformation of AJ Styles in this darker, almost Sting Crow era character. What do you guys think of his transformation? Do you like it for AJ? Would you rather see him go back to the blue tights wearing just babyface AJ, or do you like the scruffy black wearing, hooded AJ riding his motorcycle away when they try to interview him? Let us know what you think. Hit us up on our Facebook, hit us up on our Twitter, hit us up on our website, and put it down where?
Down there.
Down there in the comments.
I almost broke my bat on that one. Made me wait too long.
You should have whiffed and then did a bow breaker. We'll save that for another show. You already blew the spot.
I blew my spot.
Anyway.
Speaking of blowing your spot, who's coming up next? Hulk Hogan.
Well, we had Matt Morgan come out and explain. Basically, he talked to Hogan, explained that he could help with the Aces and Eights problem, but he wants Hulk Hogan to make him a #1 contender. Hulk Hogan's like, "Baby, that's it, brother. You just want something from this, But I thought Morgan was awesome in the segment. Hogan detracted, in my opinion. I'm not saying that Hogan can't be used good. This is the best use of Hogan in these type situations where he plays the GM role, where he's out there with a guy that needs to break that glass ceiling. Morgan's always been upper echelon mid-carder, but never broke through the glass ceiling.
I was really hoping last year he was going to go to WWF or WWE. Sorry, I think it would have been a better career move for him, but he has to eat. Okay. And with the whole lawsuit deal, he couldn't really go there. They wouldn't hire him.
I mean, who knows if they would have used him properly either. He doesn't seem to have. TNA, they got a guy that can do decent. He talks decent. He talks better than almost any big guy this side of Big Show. I mean, you got the three main big guys that, as far as talking, is Kane, Taker, and Show. And he's right up there with Show, I would say.
Oh, yeah, if not higher. I like Matt Morgan. Matt Morgan, and plus he doesn't get winded for a big guy. He's it's like a regular-sized person just turned into a giant.
He's kind of the prototype. Or the DNA of TNA.
There you go. Whatever happened to
that? Yeah. The blueprint.
There you go. The carbon footprint.
And then Hogan ends up by saying Andre the Giant never cried in the ring, brother. I don't understand what that matters in today's wrestling. Andre the Giant's been passed away for 20-some years now. A lot of fans don't even, they know his name, but that's not really relevant to the show.
What's that have to do with the story? That's what I'm saying.
What does Andre the Giant have to do with TNA? He's never been here.
Exactly. It wasn't even an afterthought.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think Hogan he's just a name caller.
Yeah, there you go.
You know, and
he wants you to remember his match with Andre the Giant that is the biggest match in wrestling history. Well, you know, and kudos to him. It is one of the biggest matches in wrestling history, but for the people that care about that, they already know that. Anyway, going right into the next match of the night, we had Mickie James versus Velvet Sky. I thought it was a okay match. Velvet's working injured, so it wasn't as good as it could be.
You know, well, the one thing I do like about this is there's two women's matches on the same show.
And two decent ones. I mean,
exactly.
I don't want to detract by saying it wasn't a great match, but you can obviously see there were limitations to it.
Well, you had one tag match, and you had the two women's matches,
yep.
which are the two divisions that they really kind of lack on. Both the two big companies do.
I liked it. I liked it in the spot. The ending was a little bit weird with the roll-up, and Velvet had to hold Mickey's pants. It looked to me like they were too close to the ropes, and Mickie was going to roll into him, so she had to stop her. But in the end, it makes it look like she's pulling a heel move when Velvet's supposed to be a face.
Mm-hmm.
But I thought it was a decent match. Not the greatest, not the worst. Probably, in all honesty, the third best match of the night, and the other two were the other women's match and the tag match. But after that, we had the main segment of the night, Bully Ray calling out Hulk Hogan. They do their little thing. They do the doing you. And then the Stasis and Eights come out as they surround the ring. The lights go out, and Stingmon appears.
Stingmon, brother, where you been?
Well, Stingmon points his bat at Hogan first. The Aces and Eights look like he's joining them. Almost like, didn't they actually do the same thing with the NWO? Where Sting pointed his bat, I want to say it was DDP, it might have been Luger, but he pointed his bat at one of the WCW wrestlers and turned around and started whacking the NWO with it. But Sting starts hitting everybody with the bat. They all scamper from the ring, points the bat back at Hogan, and that's how we end the show. Which reminds me, our Thunder Lips count of the week. We got 5-time Thunder Lips, sucker!
I need my pyro. I can't do my spinner Rooney without pyro.
Anyway.
Sorry folks, I have to have pyro for my spinner.
Alright there, King Booker.
Thank you, Thaddeus.
The whole, to me, and correct, if you guys are willing to correct me if I'm wrong, you guys have been fans as long as we have. To me, it reeks of rehashed NWO storyline at this point.
It's like they went and got their fucking DVD player and started watching Nitro from 95 or 97 on.
Yep.
And said, hey, we could just do this tonight. Well, hey, we got most of the guys here.
And, you know, before we go into our ratings, there's something a very important something we need to talk about. We actually have a website now. Thanks to our friend Warren at Row Web Designs, one of the best web designers in the world. Go check him out. Check out Row Web Designs. I'm sure if you search it, you'll find it. Sorry, Warren, I forgot to write down your actual web page. But Warren at Row Web Designs. If you go to our web page, there's a link to his web page. So there you go. Our web page is The Heel Heat Show, just as it sounds, all together. .weebly, WEEBLY.com. Go there, check it out. See what you like. It's a work in progress now. Warren is actually still working on it. There's some stuff up, some stuff he's adding. We've been in contact back and forth, what we want, what he's adding. A lot of it he's done on his own, and the guy is amazing. He brought it to me as a pretty much a finished product. As said, here's what we made for you guys, and he's just somebody that's a friend of ours. And he's been a big supporter of our show. A lot of the graphics, a lot of the thumbnails you see for our video, actually all the thumbnails you see for the videos, the graphics we use on our different pages, our Twitter, our Facebook, everything, Warren's made for us, and he's a hell of a guy, a great guy. If you guys need anything of that nature, if you need designs made, logos made, a website made, anything, this is a guy to go to. Check out Warren at Road Web Designs. Tell him we sent you. Like I said, he's a great guy, and he'll get the job done right. And thank you, Warren. But basically, let's go right into our rating system. Now we rate these on a 1 to 5 scale. For those of you that have seen this before, you know the scale. For those that haven't, we'll go through it real quick. 1 being the worst, 5 being the best. A 1's a Garrett Bischoff, a 2's a Christian York, 3's a James Storm, 4's a Christopher Daniels, 5's a Kurt Angle. What would you give it, Gary?
I'm going to give it a James Storm. It wasn't a bad show, but it wasn't a great show. It was mediocre. A few little hints of greatness, under the one hint of greatness that you're waiting for.
I'm going to give it a Kurt Angle. The one thing that we forgot to mention during this recap, and it's just so we could save it for here because it's the most important thing that happened. James Storm was about to get double choke slammed, or the H-bomb.
No, it wasn't Abyss. Not Abyss.
No, Joseph Parks. That's
Joseph Parks.
Sorry. He's about to take the double choke slam. Bubba says, no, no. And then for the first time in 3 years, those damn Dudley boys hit the 3D. The greatest move in tag team wrestling. The show's at 5. It's a Kurt Angle to me.
I'm giving it a Storm, a 3. Anything else you want to say?
3 for 3D?
I'll give it a 3 for a 3D.
5. Drop the bombshell. That's basically all I got. Yeah, anything you want to add?
That's it.
My name is George Coles.
Gary Rhodes.
And this has been Heel Heat.